This is KGW News at 6.
First tonight, a KGW exclusive. Detectives in Roseburg are investigating a murder-for-hire plot involving Terry Horman, the stepmother of Kyron Horman. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Tracy Berry. The crime allegedly occurred nearly 3 decades ago, long before Horman's stepson Kyron disappeared. But the case is attracting new interest from police.
KGW investigative reporter Kyle Eboshi has been working this story for the past month. And Kyle, a lot of this information has never been released publicly.
Indeed, this plot allegedly targeted Terry Horman's then boyfriend. Over the past month, we've spoken with him by phone and in person. He declined to go on camera, but on both occasions, the man recounted the same story involving Terry Horman.
Police in Roseburg are investigating a decades-old murder-for-hire plot involving Terry Horman. In an email to KGW, police say the case, quote, will be referred to the DA's office for review in the near future and remains open. The alleged plot unfolded in the summer of 1990, according to Horman's then boyfriend, Sean Ray. He said the young couple was having a picnic at a park in Roseburg when a strange man came after him with a gun. He came out of the bushes, explained Ray. Then Terry said, "He's here for you." Ray said he took off, no shots were fired, and he didn't report the incident to police. At that point, I was like, did that really happen? Said Ray. He broke up with Horman and moved out of town. The two never reconnected. But in 2011, police unexpectedly contacted Ray about his old girlfriend. Multnomah County investigators were looking into her missing stepson. Kyron Horman disappeared on June 4, 2010 from Skyline School in Northwest Portland. The second grader has never been found. Ray said that Multnomah County investigators informed him that a prison inmate had confessed to taking part in a murder-for-hire plot decades ago in Roseburg. The unnamed inmate independently provided specific details that matched Ray's account, said the former boyfriend. In 2011, Ray said detectives drove him back to Roseburg to identify the park where the incident allegedly occurred. He said he also testified before a grand jury in Multnomah County. Ray, who did not want to appear on camera, said he's frustrated that police and prosecutors in Roseburg haven't gone after Terry Horman.
Could the DA still prosecute this case even though it happened years and years ago?
Yes, there's no statute of limitations in Oregon on basically any kind of murder-related crime. And so, if the alleged incident occurred, it might count as solicitation of murder for hire, and there's no statute of limitations on that.
Criminal law professor Tong Yin from Lewis and Clark Law School admits this is no slam dunk. Prosecutors must prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt.
You've got two people recounting something that happened 27 years ago. Was it real? Was it actually a real gun? Was it a loaded gun? Was there actually an intent to shoot, or was it a practical joke?
This isn't the first time Terry Horman has been linked to an alleged murder-for-hire plot. In 2010, her then-husband, Kane Horman, took out a restraining order against Terry Horman, claiming she tried to hire the family landscaper to, quote, murder me. Terry Horman denied the allegation. Horman, who now goes by Terry Moulton, is facing legal trouble in California. Next month, the 47-year-old will stand trial in Yuba County Superior Court for grand theft firearm, a misdemeanor. Police say she stole a handgun from her roommate. Horman was also accused of domestic violence in an unrelated case. In February, a Sacramento County family court judge granted a restraining order to her former boyfriend, who said he feared for his life.
Terry Horman now lives in California. We tried to reach her, but we're not able to do so for comment.
So it sounds like police have looked into this before. Why are they back on it now?
Well, and that's really the big question, right? They started investigating this at least in 2011. It's now 2017. Why that gap? Why now? I've called, I've emailed the police chief down in Roseburg, and so far haven't gotten any answers.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. We'll see what happens from here. Now to a breaking news story. A crash in Beaverton has streets closed and traffic backed up. Officials say a bicyclist and a pedestrian were hit, and the driver of the car was hurt as well. You're looking at Sky 8 live over the scene right now. KGW's Mike Benner is live near Southwest Murray Boulevard in Allen with some information on what happened. Mike?
Yeah, I tell you what, Tracy, the scene is an absolute mess. Let me step out of the way and give you a closer look here. Check out this car on its roof, just inches from the front windows of McMinimans. near the intersection of Southwest Murray and Allen. It appears to us that the jaws of life were used to extricate the driver from the vehicle that you see there on its roof. We understand the driver, a woman, suffered some sort of medical emergency behind the wheel and up the street there near the intersection of Murray and Allen, hit a cyclist. We are also hearing that the driver hit a pedestrian before racing down Murray and then flipping her car, again, just inches from the front window of a very popular McMinimans restaurant and bar. Now, we understand the driver of this vehicle here that's on its roof was extricated from the vehicle and taken to a hospital by life flight. We understand the cyclist and pedestrian were also taken to area hospitals, but the conditions of all three of those people are unknown at this hour. But you know, I think it's safe to say that many more people could have been injured. So authorities here on scene, whether it be firefighters or deputies or cops, very grateful that more people weren't injured. We'll continue to follow this breaking news story. But again, 3 people taken to area hospitals after a driver suffers some sort of medical emergency, hitting a cyclist and a pedestrian before flipping her car right here outside McMinimans. We'll send it back to you.
Well, that's quite a scene. Okay, Mike, thank you very much.
We're going to turn to another big story now. 2 separate threats against schools posted on social media land 3 students in police custody.
Police reacted quickly. KGW's Pat Doris is live in Hillsborough, where one of those schools was in lockout today. Pat?
Right, Joe. It was South Meadows Middle School, which is where the threat was targeted. Fortunately, police made an arrest and neutralized the threat in about 2 hours, but still people inside were terrified. And police, both here and in Longview, have no tolerance for this. Tuesday afternoon, hours after the threat was gone, the fear remained for some students at South Meadows Middle School.
And still, she's at home like petrified and doesn't want to go back to school tomorrow.
Vicki Lee's daughter texted her when the school suddenly went into lockout this morning.
I left the location where I was to go get my 13-year-old who was actually like freaked out and panicked, even though that the lockout situation was completely done and over with.
Police say 2 teenage boys, 13 and 14, are responsible. They posted a threat last night on social media.
More along the lines of people are going to pay for, you know, this. More as a retaliatory, I'm frustrated, I'm upset.
Police moved quickly.
In this case, these weren't just threats of spouting off or blowing off steam. These were specific threats that were designed to instill fear in people. And that's why we take these very seriously.
In Longview, police say another 14-year-old sent this picture to 31 friends on Snapchat as a joke. It warned them not to go to school today. No one's laughing.
It's not a joking matter. In this day and age, we cannot joke and say, hey, I'm just going to don't go to school tomorrow and I have a gun.
Police arrested the teen last night on a charge of threatening to bomb or injure a public school. While both incidents disturbed many, police say it shows most people take these threats seriously.
This was a prime example of people being alert and aware and cautious about what's going on around them. People taking things seriously because it was justified.
And police say it's a great reminder to each of us. If you see something that seems dangerous, you should say something to someone. Back to you.
Pat, thanks. Take a look at this. Police are searching for the man who robbed a Southeast Portland tavern and assaulted a customer. You can see a hooded man goes into Sting Tavern on Southeast 82nd. He knocked out a customer before ordering the bartender to empty the safe and cash register. If you have any information, call Portland Police.
Thieves caused a lot of damage at one of Oregon's most iconic post offices. This is what the Bridal post office looked like after some burglars broke in on Sunday. Crews were out trying to fix the broken mailboxes. Every year, hundreds of people send their wedding invitations through the office so they can get bridal veil stamped on the envelope. It's also one of the oldest post offices in the state. If you have any information on the crime, you're asked to call postal inspectors. You can see their number at the bottom of the screen.
Local businesses need to be on the lookout for another scam involving criminals posing as PGE workers. Scammers hit Kel's Irish Pub not once but twice. At least they tried to anyway. Manager Natalie Reed knew something didn't sound quite right, but she admits the scammers were convincing. They called Kel's to let them know they were a couple months behind on their power bills and needed to pay before the electricity was shut off. They couldn't take checks or credit cards. The bills needed to be paid at a specific location in cash to lift the disconnect order. Natalie hung up and called back, and even then the scammer seemed convincing.
They gave me names, I asked for the manager, they gave me the manager. I called back and asked for the manager, and when I called back, they had actually had the recording from the PGE phone line. So it sounded like I was really calling the phone line.
Natalie decided to drive to PGE, and they assured her the power was not about to be disconnected, and the bills were all paid and up to date. 2 weeks later, the same scammers called the other Kells location on Everett and tried again.
Some big changes are in store for Washington Park. The new master plan is designed to get many of the cars out and a lot more park space in. We sent Keely Chalmers out to the park to find out what we can expect. She's live outside the zoo. And Keely, first off, we can expect a big change there.
That's right. Imagine all these parking spaces here gone, and in their place, a big park. Now, it may be a shock to some, but keep in mind, this park was built back in the 1890s. The last time it underwent a big remodel was in 1981. Since then, according to the city, Portland's population has nearly doubled. And most we talked to out here agree it needs some changes. When it comes to Portland's beloved Washington Park, we found visitors have all sorts of opinions on what changes they would like to see.
Oh, a restaurant would be nice.
I don't think I would want restaurants, permanent buildings put in to the park.
I think that if you had plenty of parking, if they had a shuttle or whatever, that'd be fine.
But one thing is for certain, Washington Park will undergo some pretty big changes in the years to come. The city of Portland is putting together a master plan that would redesign the park.
So we want to reverse, the Joni Mitchell song, and we are going to build paradise and take out parking.
The plan would include installing a 900-space parking garage near the zoo and turn the existing parking lot into a park.
That would be lovely. You could come to the zoo and then go have a picnic.
It would look at adding cafes both near the zoo and down near the Rose Garden. The tennis courts there would be moved and replaced with another garden and perhaps even some food carts.
Well, I don't play tennis. I don't care about that either.
Also in the proposed plan, a single-track bike trail, an upgraded amphitheater, and something that will look something like this. It's called an electric people mover.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds... Sure.
Oh,
yes, I'm for it.
Leave your car. You can either walk, you can ride your bike, maybe take an electric driverless people mover through the whole entire park where you can jump on, jump off.
The city wants your input on the plan. You have until April 30th to go online and submit your ideas and help redesign Washington Park the way you would want it. Now, the city will finalize their master plan by the end of December, and we should start seeing changes within the next 5 years, and that includes to the zoo parking lot here. We also have a survey where you can voice your opinion on KGW.com.